Hello and welcome to the Sunday League Pundit Show, episode 43. We have just had a chat amongst ourselves to make sure we got the number right again.
Yep.
You have myself, Tin Ribs.
Yeah, you've changed.
It's going well already, isn't it? You've got myself, Stretch, my good friend off camera, Tin Ribs, and my good friend on camera, Jim Jam. How are we, boys?
All right.
I'm here.
We got a word out of him.
All right.
We got a word out of him. We've just recorded the fantasy football short, and he never said a word. So it was a good microphone test for us. Right. Do we have a Jim Jam, the stat man, stat?
Yeah, we do. So obviously I do a bit of work and I'll look around to try and find something. So I did start off by like who's hit the post the most kind of thing. So it was like Robin Van Persie has hit the post woodwork the most amount of times at 44. Petr Cech is the only goalkeeper to hit the woodwork attacking wise. But then I thought, right, actually, James Milner set a record at the weekend.
It's probably most games ever played in the
Premier
League.
No. It's the first player to play 23 seasons
in the Premier League.
23 seasons.
So he's been at that level.
So he's actually now topped Ryan Giggs.
Yeah, so he's topped that, and obviously he needs to play, I think, another 30 games to break Gareth Barry's record.
Yeah, I can see him doing that.
He probably will do it
next season.
Well, it's not like he came on as a sub either. He played like I think 76 or 82 minutes. I think it was. So it's not like he's still a starter.
Still a good player.
So yeah, and his manager was 9 years old when he made his debut in the Premier League.
Isn't their manager the only manager that's ever managed in the Premier League who's younger than the Premier League?
Well, he's 31.
Yeah, the
So
Premier League's 33, isn't it? 32 or 33? Because it started in 92.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that works.
He's the only manager that's ever managed in the Premier League that's younger than the Premier League.
That's crazy as well.
Yeah, that's a stat I picked up today.
Yeah.
Another stat I picked up today, just to be quick. City's starting lineup against... Chelsea's starting lineup against City today is the youngest ever picked on the starting day of a season.
All right.
That's just something the commentator picked up when he was going through. I wouldn't have known
when
myself.
When he was doing his notes.
I wouldn't have bothered looking at anything like that, to be perfectly honest. But yeah. So there you go. A few stats for this week. We are full of information. And it seems like a good place to play the music. Hello and welcome to the Sunday League Pundit Show. We have quite a bit to talk about this week, be it transfers, be it potential transfers, be it games, because we've all played. We've started.
We've all played. Well, Leeds haven't yet.
Apart from Leicester. No, they've played. They just haven't started playing football yet. I don't know what they've been playing, but they've been playing. Just not football. And Leicester and Spurs are the only teams that haven't actually kicked off their season because they don't play till tomorrow. Because obviously, Sunday League Pundit Show, we record on a Sunday, kind of part of it.
Most of the time.
So those that are watching on YouTube will notice that we have now changed the background because we were getting a few complaints about the green screen because it wasn't great. So we've now infiltrated a proper background. So hopefully that's better for you all. Right, transfers. Quickly, we had Noussair Mazraoui, whoever that is, I don't know who it is, went from Bayern to Man United for 13 million.
Yeah.
Anyone know him?
No.
I didn't actually know who it was when I heard that.
No.
But I believe that was just part of the deal to bring Matthias de Ligt to Man United, and that was Bayern to Man U for 39 million. I think that's a great signing for 39 million.
I think it adds depth to Man United's backline, which they desperately needed last year, especially when they're playing Casemiro at centre-back that really didn't work.
Johnny Evans played most of the season as well, didn't he?
He did.
And he's getting on a bit.
Yeah.
No offence to him, he's been a good defender over the years. But
obviously, they've got unlucky that they've lost Yoro till pretty much the winter period. So
we had Julian Araujo go from Barcelona to Bournemouth. That's not a transfer destination change I ever thought I'd hear myself say. But Barcelona to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
8.6 million. I don't know who that is either. I have heard the name, but I've never actually seen him play properly, so I don't know who it is. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka has gone from Man U to West Ham for 15 million. I think that's a great signing.
That's a good signing. For two reasons, it kind of keeps Kyle Walker-Peters at Southampton as well.
I would like to I took a screenshot the other day. Let me just find the screenshot that I took the other day. Where is it? Here we go. This is... Let's do it. Leeds United summer window so far.
We've sold more than anyone else.
In Rondon, Bogle, Cairns, Rothwell. Rothwell's alone. Cairns was free. Bogle and Rondon
we
were
better
10 million,
say that Rodon they signed, not Rondon. He'd be very disappointed if he signed Rondon.
Yeah, Rodon.
Rodon off Wish.
Right, so 4 signings. Right, I'm very, very quickly, if that's humanly possible, going to go through their out list. Rutter, 40 mil. Gray, 40 mil. Somerville, 25 mil. Kamara, 8.6. Rocker, 3.9. Creswell, 3.9. Lorente, 2.6. Eiling, free. Cooper, free. Drama, free. Van Del Hoovel, free. Shackleton, free. Classen, free. Bate, free. Christensen, free. Greenwood, loan. Gabby, loan. And Perkins, loan. That's a hell of a list to be losing and bringing in only 4 players.
I want to also point out a really interesting one on that whole transfer. Classen has had his contract terminated by the club he moved to.
Already?
Yeah, so he had an accident, I can't remember if it was a bike or car accident while he was at Leeds, and we let him go. He passed his initial medical, but the club have now terminated his contract due to reasons around his injuries.
Oh.
So you might be getting him back then?
Nah, I think we dodged a bullet there. I think we could have been paying the wages of a player who just never played for us.
Yeah.
Well,
which is a shame, because he was actually very good.
Obviously,
you might need some players now, to be honest.
we have signed Cameron Archer.
Yes. How do you feel about that?
I'm okay with that.
Decent signing. Squad
We'll
player.
see. A good rotation. We definitely need something attacking wise. I don't think we're even done on the attacking front yet by the sounds of things. It sounds like he wants to bring in more for this season, which I can only see as a good thing. So,
Well, apparently we're not looking at any attacking players because our attack line is fine, according to Mikel, the Sunday League manager, Arteta.
well, your striker scored, so...
And can I just say, what an absolute world-class save from Raya off the
I
header.
know.
That was unreal.
The only comment I was going to make, actually, I've made a comment about the Arsenal v Wolves game, and I've actually put Raya had a very good game.
He did.
He did.
And I just want to point out that when he passed that ball to Saliba and put Saliba under pressure, and Saliba gave it away, you know what I'm on about?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Saliba actually called for that ball. Just before he passes it,
Yeah,
you
you
actually
can
see
see
Saliba ask for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you can.
So you can't even blame him for that.
No, I said Raya had a very good game
He did,
against
actually.
Wolves.
Did
He
that
played
hurt?
Yeah.
No, because I want him to do well. I want the guy to. I want him to be the next Schmeichel, because that means we're going to win titles. I just don't think he's that good. But a stop clock is right twice a day. He's had one good game since he joined us, and that took a year. Now, was he iffy because he was on loan? Maybe. Maybe now he's signed permanently. He's going to turn into the great people.
Maybe he
keep
was
telling me he's going to be.
Yeah, but maybe it was big club syndrome. He's moved into a bigger club
Possibly.
and
It
nervous.
could just have been a bit too much for him. I don't know. But if he's going to play like that every week, I'll take that. I'll take that.
Well, we say it wasn't just the saves. Apparently, he was commanding in front of the
he
players.
was
He was doing everything.
He had a good all-round game.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm not going to sit here and criticise Raya this week.
Because
He had a good game. Everything he was meant to do,
Yeah.
he did flawlessly this week. Everything.
Yeah.
So I've got no complaints over Raya this week.
So
I've still got my
obviously-
complaints over Sunday League manager Arteta, because Zinchenko shouldn't have been on the fucking pitch. Didn't even notice he was on the pitch for the 60 minutes. Useless. Timber came on. Impact. Immediately.
Yeah.
Joke. Well, just starting. Zinchenko's not good enough.
So obviously there was a thing on Havertz where a choke, so to speak.
I have mentioned this, and now I've watched this a couple of times. So, give me your impression, thoughts, and opinions.
I think that if he's on his feet, it'd be a red card because you can't put your hand on somebody's throat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it does look more deliberate than non-deliberate, in my view.
Now, the commentator, I believe it was Matthew Upson that was in the commentator box. And the commentator, Matthew Upson, who is ex-Arsenal, by the way, turned around and said, you can tell by the way the player goes down that it was completely non-aggressive. So that's why he didn't get a red card. Now, I watched that probably 5 times.
Yeah.
He intentionally went for his throat. You could see him looking for his throat. And the violence in the action towards Havertz was obvious.
Yeah.
So, I will sit here and say Wolves were single-handedly the most screwed over team last season with VAR.
Absolutely.
They got away with 2 against Arsenal.
Yeah.
That should have been an instant red card against Havertz because it was disgusting. And there was another one.
Are you on about the sexual assault on
Which
Jesus?
He'd already got a yellow card. Mosquera had already got a yellow card, which was warranted. Mm-hmm. It was no more than a yellow, but it was a yellow. And he then grabs Jesus' arse. Now, if you're in an office building, you would get prosecuted for that. If you grabbed a woman's arse like that, you'd get prosecuted for sexual assault. So what I'm saying is, just because it's man on man, if you're even allowed to say that anymore, just because it's man on man doesn't mean it's not a sexual assault. That's exactly what it is.
Well, Jesus definitely really didn't like it, did he?
No, because he got up and pushed him, which I think, fair enough. If someone's going to grab you, you should be able to defend yourself. Because you're not defending against someone touching your shoulder or someone calling you a name. Someone's literally
gone behind him, grabbed his
you in a sexual
backside and pushed him over.
And it wasn't one of them, when someone does something well and you go and slap them on the bottom of the back and you're a bit too low and you catch their arse and you just slap them on the... It wasn't that. He grabbed his arse.
Yeah.
Like, it was full on, like, proper handful. Like, that, for me, is sexual. It should have been a yellow card and a sending off. So Wolves got away with 2 yesterday.
Yeah.
So any Wolves fans this season bitch about VAR, they should have had 2 red cards yesterday, albeit for the same player. He is going to get them in trouble this season because for me he's just another Xhaka because he was shite on the pitch. I don't think he played well at all. I think he was shocking, and all he should have done was get sent off.
Yeah,
terrible, absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
But they got away with it.
No, it did show up. Declan Rice injured. Is it serious? Non-serious?
I believe it's not serious.
Precautionary taking off more
pretty
than
much.
Because that'd be a bit of a blow.
That would be devastating for Rice to get injured because he's one of, if not our most important player.
Yeah, especially when you've got Villa in your next game.
I would probably place Martin Odegaard as our most important player for all round, like commanding, being there for his teammates, what he gives us on the pitch, how much effort he puts in, the closing down that he starts and is part of.
And the fact that he's a captain and he's
a captain and he scores goals, he creates goals, he makes space. He does everything for me, Odegaard.
Yeah.
So for those that are going to go, oh, Saka, I get it. Saka's a fantastic player. But for me, for everything he brings, Odegaard is probably our most important player. Although Saka had a fantastic game yesterday and he did play really well.
Yeah.
And we won pretty comfortably. Should have been more comfortable because I still think we're lacking in attack. And I think if we had a legit striker, I think we'd have probably put 4 or 5 past Wolves yesterday.
No, I did put 2-0 on my Super 6.
Well, that's a good start, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Didn't
not a bad
help. I
start at
didn't
all.
get any of the others right.
Well, you're not going to because, I mean, if we flick onto if you watched any Premier League games or Match of the Day or anything this
I've
week.
watched a few.
Right, so Man U played Fulham.
Yep.
Man U were lucky.
Yeah.
Lucky because Fulham played really well.
I mean, Onana made one good save.
Is that the tip over the
Yeah.
line?
It was a good save.
It was a decent
I
save.
thought
yeah.
that's a really good game though.
Leno was superb.
Leno had a
And
fantastic game.
what got me is when you look on FOTMob, Onana got man of the match and he literally only made that one save.
I never understood that.
Where Leno made several saves, especially from Bruno Fernandes. Some of them saves were superb.
Brilliant. He was brilliant.
He was superb.
Yeah, he was really, really good.
I just don't understand how Onana got man of the match.
Well, they didn't. They gave it to that Zerky after as well, and it's like, what?
Yeah, but
He just came on for a few minutes and scored a goal. Which,
But
to be fair, it was
now
it was
from a
decent
lot of
goal.
angles, it was like, did he mean that? Until you see the one from behind where you actually see him hit it.
Yeah, he
the
definitely
first
meant
few
it.
angles, it was like,
I weren't sure
has
if
he
it was an
just
own goal
hit
on
it?
some of them.
Yeah, it was like, has he? But
yeah,
no,
I mean,
it was.
Xerxes come on. He played quite well while he was on. Scored a goal.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if I'd say it was man of the match. But he did well. But United got out of jail because Fulham, for me, were very, very good yesterday. They're going to be one to surprise a few this season, I think.
Yeah.
Because they played very, very well. Then obviously Arsenal 2, Wolves 0. Oh, we're going to have Craig back on because Everton. Oh, God, Everton. Everton 0 with a red card. Brighton 3.
They started well.
Now,
They've started on the front foot and they went attacking, but
well,
ultimately...
let's start with red or no red
For Everton,
for Ashley Young.
not seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Have you seen it? Red or no red?
I think it's a red.
Because
I know he's
It's
the
just-
oldest player to ever get a red card in the Premier League. There's an extra
he is
stat for you.
39. It doesn't surprise me.
39 in 39 days, I think it was.
I just didn't see anything that would warrant it not, but it's
Right.
everything's
For me,
it ticks all the boxes that make it like. So when we have these conversations, was it intentional? Does it have stud showing? Is it over the top of the ball? All that stuff. There's nothing that I can't look at it and go, oh, well, maybe it isn't. It just ticks too many boxes.
right. So for me, the guy got played through. I can't remember who he fouled, but the guy got played through, and as he's gone past Young, clearly going to beat him for pace. Young just grabs his arm and pulls him back.
Yeah.
It's
He's the last man before
it's
the goal.
not even that though. It's
Red
like,
card then.
That's it. It doesn't matter how bad the foul is. He's the last man.
So when I was saying about
Right.
tick boxes, it's obstruction.
Yeah.
He's physically, you can see
Pulling.
he's holding him.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You
he's
see he
holding.
pulls him back.
He's obstruction.
Yeah.
There's no chance he's getting to the ball, so
No.
it's all completely.
There's no debate about it. He's
Yeah.
not getting there. He's
and
being beaten.
the key one, last man.
Last man.
So
So it's a definite red. all
people
day.
who are arguing it isn't a red. I can't see, for me, any sort of position or stance for an argument.
No, I agree.
And that's why when you said is it a red, I'm just trying to think of any reason it wouldn't be. It just
No, red all day for me.
Yeah.
There are people online obviously arguing it, but
are the Everton
he's
fans.
the last man.
Are the Everton fans?
Some of them are not, believe it or not.
I was going to say because they'll be the same ones saying
Most of them are
that
Everton fans.
Calvin, I wear a dress, Lewis didn't fall over,
He wore a
and
school
died.
uniform.
mate. It's unreal. But anyway, you've got people actually saying he didn't dive.
He dived.
No shit.
He dived. That was never a pen in a million years. Yes, he stood on the defender's foot. Technically, for me, that would make it Calvert-Lewin's foul, and not Calvert-Lewin being fouled because he stood on the other guy's foot.
And
Off
then,
his foot.
and then he just rolls up,
You doing?
flops down.
I think that's what give it away the most is the way he fell. It's like, well, we know if you fall like that, it's not a foul. Then we had sad day for you, but not, because I think like before we go into it, we will say it was Newcastle 1, Southampton 0, and Newcastle got a red, which I'm trying to remember what that red card was.
Fabian Schär lent him with his head.
Okay, that's a red card.
I know they're arguing about it.
Your guy
Milks it.
From a neutral point of view, your guy should be fucking ashamed of himself.
He should,
Because have you seen it?
yeah.
Right, so he
it's
basically
disgusting.
he runs into his back and no, I'm on about when he started.
Oh,
He
yeah.
runs up and pushes him
yeah.
into his back, right, which is
So
going to wind
that's
him up. But
probably-
your guy puts his head into Shah first, then Shah leans in, then your guy hits the floor.
Yeah.
He should be embarrassed. And
He
to be honest,
should.
for me, he should get a red card retroactively.
Yeah.
Because he was the first one to lean his head in.
He instigated the whole thing.
He's just the fanny that went to the floor.
Oh, yeah,
pretending he was
he's
hurt when he was.
just-
That was
it was
embarrassing.
complete shithousery from Diaz.
Horrendous. That was
I
it.
don't
Diaz, Brereton, Diaz.
like it in the game, but you look at it and go, you can't lead in with your head on your head and
but Diaz did it first.
do it.
Yeah, Diaz was the first to lean in with his head.
So
Have you
you're
not seen it from the other angle?
you're going. Yeah, you can't lean in with
Diaz
his head.
leans in,
Yeah.
and then Shah leans in, and as soon as their heads touch, Diaz goes down.
Well, he would do, wouldn't he?
Disgusting. Well, why Shah didn't?
Unfortunately, it happens so often.
It does, and I agree. There's way too many people that do it. Havertz again kept going down yesterday, and it fucking infuriates me. I'm sick
it does
of seeing
infuriate me. I don't like it. Don't get me wrong. I do not like it. But can you blame him if he knows that he's going to get a player sent off?
Yes, cheat.
Yeah.
It's exactly,
I can't blame him. He's a cheat.
Retroactively, they should give him a red card for that.
If you're a cheat,
For me personally,
deserve it.
but let's get off the red,
But
which was a red. He should have been sent off because he lent his head in. So did your guy. He should have both been sent off. For me, Saints played really well.
They did.
They did.
Really well. They held their own. They had most of the game.
Pope did some really good stuff.
And
Yeah.
Pope was
I think the
fantastic.
problem was because they conceded, they could just set up shop and they did it very well. And they've been
They
known
did
in the
defend well.
past to be very defensive. St James's Park's a difficult place to go. So them actually being down to 10 men probably did us no favours because it didn't allow us to play the way that we normally play, like creating the space. It gave us less space because they had to sit back.
I think you did really well. I think there's a lot to be optimistic about this season.
But what did I say that we needed?
I was going to get to this, actually. We got your McCarthy and you got our Raya. Because the goal you conceded was purely his fault.
Yeah.
And
apparently he's turned around to say that it's collective responsibility because they shouldn't be playing the ball to McCarthy.
that depends what your manager said.
That's what the manager said. That the team shouldn't be playing the ball to McCarthy to put him under pressure because
In
he
which
can't
case
play.
it is the defender's fault then. If your manager's told you do not pass it back to your keeper because he's not good under pressure.
Or like, you
Then-
look at the space in which he had. This is not me defending, but
Yeah.
they're inside the 18-yard box, and the attackers are inside the 18-yard box. That's putting him under immediate pressure.
Oh, yeah.
So if it's like the whole. Every team seems to do it now, but when we were kids, I'm pretty sure if you passed the ball across your own area, your manager was going to kick your ass.
You don't kick the ball across the goal.
We
That's
were
all
told.
I ever learned.
we were
all the
told
time now.
rule number
Yeah.
1 when we were in school was do not play across your own goal mount.
Absolutely.
Ever.
But they all do it now. They all do it. But so this comes into it. If he said, look, if you're inside your 18-yard box, get it fucked off, and you pass it back to the keeper and the keeper fucks it up, whose fault is it? You've been told,
defenders.
don't do it.
Yeah.
So for me, I didn't know that bit of information because I didn't.
So he
stay
said
to
that
the
it's
interviews
collective responsibility, but we desperately need a goalkeeper.
I hope you sign Ramsdale because I think
I'd love that
Ramsdale,
on loan. I
Ramsdale
think
needs
it'd
to be
do-
playing for me.
He needs to be playing.
That'd be the ideal low move. Because who needs him now? Because Newcastle...
Well,
I don't
is he
know.
going to get ahead against
I don't
Pope?
think
No?
Pickford was great yesterday.
No, he wasn't.
No.
I don't think Pickford was very good for Everton at all.
So, Sam Johnson's the other one from Crystal Palace, because obviously Henderson's their number one, and I still
Yeah,
think
there's,
that would be a good...
I'd
Going
rather you had Ramsdale because I want to see the guy play.
Going
Yeah.
on links, there's been a thing that if Meslier leaves, we want Sam Johnson ourselves. I'm not sure on that myself personally, but
Much for muchness, that isn't it? There's not a lot between the two of them.
I don't think. But if obviously Meslier's going,
Or if he's going to go, you're going to.
but I don't think he is.
But- Again, we had so many chances, and we need to score.
Yeah.
They weren't clinical enough up top again.
I would agree.
So he needs to change some stuff about. I'm sure he's learned his lessons. But it's a difficult game out the way. We play Forest at home next week, and that's massive now.
Well, that's a really good way to move on to the fact that Forest drew 1-1 with Bournemouth.
We've got to sell best wishes to Danilo, and hopefully he
That
makes
didn't look great.
No, it didn't.
it look sickening, and hopefully he makes a full recovery and plays again.
I hope he makes a recovery as quick as possible because that.
It was sick.
It didn't look good.
It did not look good.
It did not look good, and nobody. I don't care who you support or what team you're watching. Nobody wants to see that on a football
No.
pitch. I mean it.
It
wasn't
was a pure
targeted or any-
accident.
yeah,
there
it
was
wasn't
no other
targeted
player
or anything.
involved.
It's not like he was attacked.
It
It's
wasn't
just
a
one of them
foul or
things
anything.
That does happen
So
occasionally, but nobody wants to see that happen. No, I don't care who you are or what footballers you like or you don't like. You don't want to see.
it's
them go
weird
through that.
how
It's
it kind
horrible.
of happens though? Because he just lands and it breaks. It's like
It's dead. It's very rare, but there's just times when these
just-
really dodgy
just
things
the
happen.
wrong angle.
Ericsson, there was nothing there. It just happened. His heart just went.
Yeah.
Or the other guy
Yeah.
whose heart went for, was it Tottenham? There was a doctor in the crowd who was dead for like 70 odd minutes. I can't remember his name. He
I
used to
know
play-
that's bad,
he used to
isn't
play
it?
for Arsenal
and I
as
know
well, and that's
exactly
really
who
bad.
you're on about.
He used to play for
About-
Arsenal. But yeah, and his went, and you've got like Ryan Giggs went down years and years and years ago because he swallowed his tongue on the pitch. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Literally, just as he's running down the wing, there's no one anywhere near him. And for these things to happen that are just so crazy and so out there.
Well,
it's
Lockyer
just
as
horrible,
well,
isn't it?
Luton,
Lockyer is
who's
another
just
one.
returning to pitch work, I think now.
Mm.
So he will hopefully be making a return.
Yeah,
again.
it's horrible, isn't it? It's horrible. Nobody wants to see anybody injured, and certainly not badly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I echo your sentiments of wishing him a very, very speedy recovery, and we all here hope that he gets to play football again pretty soon. So as for the game, I think 1-1 was probably a fair result. I think they both played quite well. I think Forest and Bournemouth, neither one of them are looking like whipping boys at the minute. So yeah, it was a fair result for me for a decent game of football with a shocking moment that nobody really wanted. West Ham 1, Villa 2.
I didn't watch the
Thoughts,
game,
opinions?
but I
didn't
did
watch the game.
see. I saw Yove a bit after that game went on. No, I was speaking to Yove and he watched it and he said it wasn't a great game.
He did watch it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch it. I think I watched bits of it here and there because I was in and out of the living room, so I didn't watch a lot.
But I did say so. Ward-Prowse played a lot of games started last season. Guess what?
Benched.
Benched.
Was benched.
Don't think he came on either.
He did come on.
Did he come on?
Yeah, he did play a little part of it.
Small part.
Ipswich 0, Liverpool 2. I think the first half, Liverpool got lucky in the fact that Ipswich don't know how to finish.
Yeah.
They couldn't finish their dinner.
From what I saw, it was...
But they played really well. Ipswich in
Yeah.
that first half played really well. And Liverpool didn't show
Well, I
up.
wasn't watching that game. I was watching Leeds West Brom.
Yeah, we are going to get
What a
onto that.
mistake.
We are going to get onto that.
I didn't have the choice. I haven't paid the £28 for TNT Sports yet.
So yeah, Liverpool came out much better in the second half. Ipswich started to flag a bit after about 55 minutes, started to feel it, and they did well. I mean, fair play to them, they did quite well, but they lost against a better side than they are.
And
quite
Arnie
frankly.
Slot is the first Liverpool manager to win his first game in the league in the Premier League era as well.
Did not know that as another stat for us. We're doing well on these stats.
I know,
today,
yeah.
aren't we?
There's lots of little stats
So-
going on. Because I picked Liverpool in my last man standing predictor game that has got a few people in it. And I picked Liverpool, and then Yove went, "Oh, you do know that no Liverpool manager has ever won their first game for like a few decades." I was like, "Oh, great!" I think it was Souness in 1991 was the last Liverpool manager to win their opening league game. So I was like, "Oh, great!"
Oops.
But I have not lost a life, so all is good.
So,
I think last time I lost all my lives very quickly. I was not very good. Leeds blew it for me. Portsmouth blew it for me. All these teams that were winning week in, week out at the time just kept losing every time I picked them. I was like, great.
yeah, I would like to say that I was messaged in confidence and told to keep it myself. You know, I can't do that. Daryl
I know.
bet on Leeds.
I know.
Brilliant.
In my defence, I never promised that I would keep that to myself. I just retained the information to throw it at you now. Speaking of Leeds, how shit have you been?
Absolute garbage.
Where are we
It's-
starting? Are we starting with the cup game?
Yeah, where do you want to start?
I mean,
We'll start with the cup
the
game.
cup game. The cup game, Tin Ribs. The cup game.
I watched it.
Thoughts, opinions, feelings.
It was a good game to watch.
other than annoyance, we know the feelings.
So
of
the first
annoyance
half, I think we pretty much semi-controlled it. I think we looked probably the better team.
Yeah.
You'd expect us to, if anyone was going to score at the end of the first half, if you were going to say someone's going to score, you'd have probably said Leeds.
I would agree. I watched this
Absolutely.
game.
And then we came out, and obviously we made 8 changes. But we came out, and it's just like, no one give a shit.
I would have to agree.
Now, admittedly, and my friend Daryl can confirm this, when we were on about this at work, I actually said I couldn't give a shit if we win. I'd rather go out early.
Yeah.
Because
Long season.
You just want the league.
well, it's a long season, and I'm going to word it like this. If you're in the Premiership, the League Cup is something you should look at. If you're a Premiership team, you're going for the League Cup. You've got to go for it. You're in that position.
You want a trophy, it's a gateway
Now-
to Europe.
Yeah. But also, any team that isn't in the Premiership, you're after money. You're after that league, that cup run. Not being funny. Our owners don't need fucking money. Financial fair play is the only thing stopping us at the moment. But what would it matter to us? The winning the league or getting promoted is worth hundreds of millions.
Yep.
A cup run's worth what? A couple of million?
Yeah.
If you win it.
That's only if you win it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So realistically, a league cup run is worthless to us. All it does is give you more chance to get players injured and play a few more games.
I think it's
I
worth
like the
more
way-
to a League 2 side.
I like the way he's just dwindled the entirety of the championship season down to money.
Well, what else is it?
It's about promotion. It's about getting into the Premier League.
What's
about
every
testing
league?
yourself.
What's the league and any professional level other than the money spinner for your club?
It's the chance to actually compete for stuff. Surely this is what
Okay,
football's
okay,
about.
hang on,
Like,
hang on.
I'm not the owner
Your
of
own words.
Arsenal.
Your own words here. The Premier League is basically won by the same team every year.
Oh,
so
it is at the minute,
unless you are one of the top 3 teams, the rest of the Premier League is a money spinner.
Well, surely it's
The Championship is what? The 3 teams that have come down and maybe 1 or 2 other teams fighting for 6 places. So if you're not one of those 5 teams, it's a money spinner. Now let's get to League 1. It's the exact same thing. So unless you are literally one of the
It's a
top
shame,
teams
isn't it?
in that league, you are it's a money spinner. That's all it is. And it sounds harsh to say it, but that's just a
I get
fact.
that the cup runs are definitely financially motivated for lower league clubs.
Absolutely.
I get that, and I totally understand it because there's teams like our local clubs. You've got Hensford and Stafford Rangers. If they had a decent cup run, a decent cup run could keep one of them going for 2 years, 3 years.
Okay.
So I
Stafford
get,
Rangers won 1-0 in the FA Cup preliminary round against Hanley Town.
Yeah, I'm going to word it like this, though. So this one's coming after you, Daryl, you prick. Blackburn. Blackburn have no expectation. They have nothing. They've got no sort of drive. They sell their players at the first fucking chance. I mean, Schmodic for 9 million. Really?
I mean, we
9
didn't
million?
mention that. That's a
How
steal.
the fuck did they let him go so cheap? Seriously?
I mean, you were linked with him, and he would have been great replacement for
Perfect.
Rutter.
Perfect replacement. And we should have literally, second Jorginho was going, 15 million, bang, take it.
Yeah.
9 million. We've just sold Rutter for 40 million, and yet a guy who outscored him and out-contributed him went for 9.
Leeds is a bigger name
it's
than
crazy.
Blackburn, isn't
It's
it? Though?
absolute bonkers.
Even though Leeds have never
No.
won the Premier League and Blackburn,
We're
have.
not.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's
But-
Ipswich he's gone to.
Yeah. But I just also want to point out they did the same with Diaz. He went cheap after having a good season.
Was
I
that the
don't think
headbang,
Armstrong cost an arm and a
Armstrong was-
leg.
No, he was cheap
It was
after
about
a good
15
season.
million or something like that.
Venky's don't like to spend money, but they like to make it. If they get relegated, it will destroy their club. Their fans don't turn up to the ground because the owners are scum. And on fair play, they're actually a club where the fans speak with their feet, and that is amazing. They
It's
don't
pretty
turn
rare
up.
as well, isn't it?
Fantastic. They're showing that club, we're not going to turn up because you don't care enough. Fair play. They've been very good in the transfer window this year. Very good. But the fact of the matter is, they sell players cheap because it makes money. They will sell anyone. I reckon Venky's would sell his own fucking gran if they offered enough money for her.
It's sad times, isn't it, really?
And if they
But
do not maintain championship position, what have they got? They are a money-spinning club. And I hate to say it, but they are. They're a legacy club. They've won the Premier League. They even did the most amazing kit this season to
Honour it.
30 years of Premier League. Fucking beautiful kit. But for what? They're just a money spinning club. They will play the best they can to get 8th, 9th, just to spin money. And that's all the owners care about. How much can they generate?
If you're listening, Daryl, you've got no hope. You've got no chance. You've got no good owners. You've got nothing.
I think he knows all
to
this.
I'm just reiterating what Tim Reeves just said. Because Tim Reeves works with him, so he's going to get the hassle later on. So I'm just going to make sure it's as bad as it could possibly be.
At least you've met him now.
I have met him now, yeah. Daryl actually came to play football with us on Friday, so I've actually met the guy now. And it was good fun, actually. It was a good game. And he was a defender, so I went up against him. It was fun.
Yeah. But yeah, so unfortunately, I hate to say it, but unless you are one of the top teams, it's just a money spinner.
The fact that you keep saying I hate to say it makes me think like you don't really hate, so you can't quite
because
enjoy
at the moment, Leeds are a money spinner.
Yeah, but I mean, it's working, isn't it? Because you've made a bloody fortune this summer.
For what?
For what? For the owners.
No, but I mean, we can't use any of it.
That's why you've made the money for the owners.
It's just...
They'll get a new yacht.
I mean, the
don't know what you're
Championship
moaning
will
about.
love it if you stay in the Championship because
That's what I said last season,
it gives
wasn't
the Football League more money and the interest going in it.
Right, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break there, boys. And we shall be back very shortly with our game. See you shortly. Hello and welcome back from the break. We had quite a short break then. What we're going to do is we're going to go into our game, Who Am I? In which I read clues as to somebody's identity and the two gentlemen guess. Now what we have been doing is there's 3 parts to it. There's 3 lots of clues. And if you get it right on the first one, you get 5 points. You get it right on the second one, you get 3 points. You get it right on the third one, you get 1 point. If you don't get it right on the third one, you don't deserve any. However, what we've been doing is if somebody guesses it on the first one, we go, you're right. Like last week, it was a lot going, you're right, Tin Ribs. And we give him 5 points and then Jim nothing. So what we're going to do this week is I'm going to give the clues. We're going to have their guesses. Then we're going to carry on without saying anything. And then we're going to go on to the second one. So if Tin Ribs does get 5 points this week on the first clue, Jim's still got the opportunity to get 3 points on the second one, rather than just going, okay, that's 5-0. We've sort of had a chat and decided that's probably a bit more fair to do it that way, just to give you a chance of not
I might
being
have
too far
got Tony
behind.
Yeboah on the last one, maybe.
Yeah, that was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just want to point out,
you
though,
got it very quickly.
he's moaning about 1 week. I had 2 weeks of other people losing it for me. Just want to point that
Yeah,
out.
but it was pretty close.
It wasn't a 5-0, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do this week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through your first set of clues while you two are jotting down whatever you're jotting down and having a guess. I'm going to read through them again.
Okay.
And then you can have your guess and we'll see where we're at.
This is rather a stinker.
So, week 4 of this game, albeit 2 for you. Week 4, part 1, player 1. I was born 7th of August, 1997. It's a younger player this week, people. I was born in Slough, Berkshire. I am 6 foot 1 inch. I started my youth career in 2010 at Wycombe Wanderers. Who am I? So, for the people in the back, I was born on the 7th of August, 1997. I was born in Slough, Berkshire. I am 6 foot 1 inch. I started my youth career in 2010 at Wycombe Wanderers. Who am I? Do we have any guesses whatsoever? I'll be honest, so that nobody can see, I don't write the names of the players next to the bit, so I've got it in the back of the book. I can't even remember who this is. And I only wrote it down earlier today. Who is it? Oh, that's right, yeah. I've got it in my head now, so I know who it is.
I can't think of anybody of it.
Have we got any guesses at all, boys?
I've got a wrong guess, but it's
That's fine.
I'd rather put a name down.
As long as you've got a guess, you might as well just put a random name down. Born in 1997, so that should give you some sort of
It doesn't help.
round sort of figure on.
I prefer the
sort of
older
player.
one.
I did this because I made it too easy last week, and Tin Rib's got like 2 sets of 5 points. And I thought I'm not having that again. So, born 97, born in Slough, 6 foot 1 inch, started youth career in 2010 at Wycombe Wanderers. Do we have guesses locked in?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Show us. Nathan Collins, Will Griggs. Okay.
You probably shouldn't read out the names.
Why?
Because then that'll give me an insight to, and vice versa.
Okay, we can do that if you want. I don't mind.
If you want to keep it secret, or you.
I don't think it needs to be secret, to be honest.
Okay.
Part 2. I started
carry
my
on.
senior career at Nottingham Forest in 2016. After joining their youth setup in 2014, I played 129 games for Nottingham Forest, scoring 11 goals. I'm a defender. I have played 15 games at international level. I joined Villa in 2020 and I have played 122 games, scoring 6 goals. Who am I? Again, for the people in the back. So I started my senior career at Nottingham Forest in 2016. After joining their youth setup in 2014, I played 129 games for Nottingham Forest, scoring 11 goals. I am a defender. I have played 15 games at international level. I joined Villa in 2020 and have played 122 games, scoring 6 goals. Who am I? Do we have guesses written down?
Yes.
I'm guessing by Tin Ribs. I saw you write down, but we have guesses. Okay.
I can't remember.
Fair enough. Part 3. In fact, I'm going to read them out. We've got Matt Cash and we've got Konza. Right, part 3. I'm English born but qualified for Poland due to my grandparents' heritage. I am a right back.
As soon as you said that, I knew it was right.
Yeah.
So you get 3 points.
I get 1.
You get 1.
Yeah.
So you could have
I
caught
told
up.
me-
Completely forgot.
You could have caught up a
Nottingham.
full 3 points then, but you're the one that changed the rules on scoring.
I know, yeah. No, it's okay.
Jim, Jen,
It probably makes it more interesting because then the viewers
Right.
get to listen to the last of the clues
Yeah.
properly as well.
I was trying to figure out.
Plus,
who
if they
played
haven't-
Nottingham Forest,
I
and then
know,
as soon
yeah.
as you said
If-
Cash, I was like, of course you fucking
If
did.
people that are listening haven't guessed it, then they
Yeah.
get your guesses, but they
Yeah.
don't know whether you're right or not. Okay. Are we ready, boys? Have we got
Yeah.
Player 2, Part 1. I was born 16th of November, 1974. I was born... No, hang on. Sorry. I was born in 16th of November, 1974. Langley Farrow was the first team I ever played for. I could have been a cricketer. I started my youth career at 14. Who am I? So, we'll read that again. I was born 16th of November 1974. Langley Farrow was the first team I ever played for. I could have been a professional cricketer. I started my youth career at 14. Who am I? Do we have any guesses? One of you is writing down, Tin. One of you has got no clue at all, Jim. So there's somebody listening going, I know exactly who that is, and they're screaming the name at the radio.
Yeah. They go, you dumbass.
Yeah. How can you not know who played for Langley Farrow?
I know, yeah.
Like, obviously.
I'm just having a stab in the dark, I'll be honest.
Okay. You never know, you might even be right. Right. Martin Keown and Peter Beardsley. Okay. Part 2. I am a one-club man. I played 66 games for England, scoring 14 goals. I made over 700 total appearances. I scored over 150 goals total. I retired in 2011 and 2013. Who am I? For those listening, once again, I am a one-club man. I played 66 games for England, scoring 14 goals. I made over 700 total appearances. I scored over 150 goals total. I retired in 2011 and in 2013. Who am I? Guesses, please, boys. I thought this one might stump you.
I think I might know it.
I want to hide your board a little bit better. I think you can see it.
No, I'm not looking.
So we have one guess. Nothing at all. You don't have to write
No.
a name, like, nothing at all.
I'm
Okay, so
genuinely
We've got No Name and we've got Paul Scholes. Part 3. I was a midfielder for Man United. I now co-own a lower league side in Salford. I was part of the class of 92. Who am I?
Scots.
So we've got a 3-pointer for Jim Jam because it was Paul Scholes.
Well done.
It was the retirement one. I remember him coming
That's
back.
why I put that in, is a
Yeah,
double
I forgot
retirement. So we've got 3 for Jim.
I'd actually
again,
forgot he'd come
10.
back out.
Yeah, come back just to play for Man United, so it keeps with the one club band thing. Do you know he never even went out on loan anywhere?
No, I didn't know that.
That I didn't know.
Never even went out on loan, just only ever played for Man United in England.
See, I didn't even know that. That's...
No, it's player 1. What am I doing?
Told you I
Good
was
job,
stinker
right
this
there.
week, didn't I?
You did say that.
I know, why did I say about the points thing?
You
I know,
could've-
yeah.
you could've
It
been
is a
6
better way
points
of
up.
doing it, though.
I actually agree it's a better way. And certainly for people listening, because if they
Yeah.
haven't got it, then it gives them some idea of where you two are at. And then lets them carry on to the end. Player 3, part 1. I was born 30th of July, 1964. We're going further back this time, boys.
Oh, God.
I was born 30th of July, 1964 in Göppingen, West Germany. It's back in the days when there was a West and an East. I'm 5 foot 11 inches. I started my youth career in 1972 at TB Gingen. I started my senior career in 1981 at Stuttgarter Kickers. Who am I?
I've definitely spelt it wrong.
So we'll go again. I was born 30th of July 1964 in Göppingen, West Germany. I'm 5 foot 11 inches. I started my youth career in 1972 at TB Gingen. I started my senior career in 1981 at Stuttgarter Kickers. Who am I? We've got Lothar Matthäus and we've got Jürgen Klinsmann. Both good guesses, to be fair. Part 2. I made over 500 appearances, scoring over 230 goals. I played in the German Olympic squad in 1987. I have now managed for 20 years. I was a striker. I had a goal celebration named after me. Who am I? So, I'll say again. I made over 500 appearances, scoring over 230 goals. I played in the German Olympic squad in 1987. I have now managed for over 20 years. I was a striker. I have had a goal celebration named after me. Who am I? Jürgen Klinsmann. Part 3. I played for Spurs in 94 to 95 and again on loan in 97 to 98. I managed Germany in 2004 to 2006. I now manage South Korea. Who am I? Jürgen Klinsmann, sticking with it?
Yeah.
You sticking with Jürgen Klinsmann? Okay.
Just I got one question for Jim Jam.
How
On the
good.
first one,
Yeah.
did you write Klinsmann because he's the only player from Germany you know of that age?
I was
Pretty
thinking
much.
exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
That must be because it's the only German you can think of around that sort of
Yeah,
age.
pretty much.
That's why I went Lothar Matthäus, because I figured he was around that sort of time. And
You
I
spot
kind
on
of
with the
thinking-
age, to be fair.
no.
So we've got a 5, and you've got a
3.
second, didn't you? So you got a 3. So Jesus, you've done well this week, Jim.
Made up 6 points.
You're 11, and you're 5. So you got 11.
But I think that 6 points is still good, but if I'd got 11, it could kill it.
Yeah, but I got 13
your
last week,
total
so-
is
Yeah.
Swings and
23,
roundabouts, isn't it?
and you got 5. So your total is 28. No, 27. Sorry, because you were 22 last week. So yeah, you're still behind Jim, but you're only behind because you give him the chances this week. Otherwise, he wouldn't have got his 5 points.
No, I'm okay with it. I think it's a
No,
better way.
I actually agree with Jim Jam, the way we
But
did
yes, no.
Bro, I won't
I-
lie. When the Matty Cash one, for example, as soon as he said Cash, I was like, yeah, of course. It did give me a massive hint to who it was.
So do you want me to not read names out next week?
Yeah.
Do you want me to just get your guesses and
Well, I mean, I'll go with what Jim
Maybe.
Jam says, but
Either
either or?
either way,
or,
we
but-
can try
Do you know
it.
what? We'll
Matty
decide on the day.
yeah,
We'll
the Matty
decide
Cash
on
one
the day.
definitely was given to
But
me.
that was a good game.
Yeah.
I
'Cause I
quite
think-
enjoyed that, boys. You
Yeah.
both did very well.
Awesome.
You in particular, Jim, this week stepped your
Felt
game up,
good.
which I
I needed to.
you
'cause
did
he
need
whooped
to
me
step
last
your game.
week.
He whooped your ass last week. But we weren't giving you the opportunity to pay back either and get your points back.
No.
So, but yeah, we're learning as we're going. That's what we do here. That's why we're Sunday League and not Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think what we need to do
Finish off with
Tin
the
ribs.
Championship.
is go back to the Championship because
Oh, yeah.
we didn't really talk a lot about the Championship, and I don't think we talked enough about how bad Leeds have been. So, sorry, I had to.
Would you like some salt for my wounds?
I have got a little bit actually that I think we need to get out the cupboard. So, how are we feeling about the Championship and your current regime? Because we did talk about the cup game, but we didn't fully go into your exploits in the Championship.
I'm sick of hearing we're linked with this player, we're linked with that player, but nothing's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I feel we need something, and I think the biggest blow, Somerville going, not the end of the world. I know it sounds stupid, player of the season, all that, not the end of the world. We had a Nonto, we had James. We've got players that can fill in. However, the midweek game proved we've got no width. If it isn't for James and Nonto, that's it. We've got no width. Playing Middlesbrough with no wingers was just stupid.
I mean, who was up? Was it Gaildar? Is it?
Gerhold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was.
I'm not going to lie. When he
Not
joined
good.
us, he looked so promising.
He looked really good, didn't he?
But he just hasn't.
I remember watching a few games with you going,
Yeah.
he's going to be good, he is.
And he just hasn't. He just never reached the point where he should be. And it's a shame because he is a good kid.
Do
And
you know who he
tries-
reminds me of? Francis Jeffers.
Yeah.
Hit the scene and you think, this kid's going to be amazing. And then all of a sudden, just nothing.
Yeah.
He
I'm
just
amazed.
dwindled, didn't he?
Yeah. And I'm amazed that he's still
Same
in
with Gerhardt, or
Yeah.
whatever his bloody
Yeah.
name is.
And it is a shame because he puts his effort in, he tries, but
There was some real talent there years ago as well,
Yeah.
because when he first started, like I say, we watched a couple of games together, and I'd look at Till and go, yeah, he's going to be a real player, he is.
and he was only 1 million, so we did some good business. But he just, I don't know, he just dropped off. But we've had that with a lot. You look at some of our youth, and they've been absolutely on fire. We've smashed the youth leagues, but then they just don't cut it at the top tier. They just
Do they, or
don't.
do they just not get picked?
They
Because look at Arsenal.
They just never step up. No.
Chelsea, they've had some cracking youth players. City,
Yeah.
Cole Palmer, he can go. Cole Palmer's not going to be good enough. He now literally runs that Chelsea team
Oh yeah.
because he's amazing.
See,
So-
he said that on the radio, and it was like, did he let him go because he didn't think he was good enough, or did he let him go because he wasn't getting in ahead of Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden at the time? So I don't think the question was,
are you going
is
to
he
want to
good enough?
strengthen an opponent to that degree?
Well,
Or would you just send him abroad? Like, surely you'd
Did-
look for somewhere abroad for him to go to play, like Bellingham, send him to Dortmund, or send him somewhere in France or Portugal.
know.
People have got to be interested in him first, haven't they? So
Surely somebody.
I
would have been
mean,
interested in
he's
Palmer.
obviously
He's
a
good for
great
City.
player and one of the top 10 top players in the Premier League last season.
I would agree.
And you say you've strengthened your team, but did Chelsea title challenge Man City at all?
no.
So
Well, no, but that's
he's not
He's still
impacted it at
strengthened.
all.
He's still strengthened Chelsea though, because can you imagine swapping Palmer for one of the other players in the Chelsea squad? They'd have been relegated. Oh, they were bloody awful.
Yeah.
Like Palmer literally dragged them through most of the games that they did win. So I definitely think he's strengthened Chelsea.
Yeah, but I think that's the difference, isn't it? I mean, Palmer's an absolute class player, but like the players I'm referring to, they look like they've got the ability and they just haven't. They just don't. They get to the point where you think they're going to do well, and they're just.
You're already looking quite dejected, Tim.
Well, I'm going to word like this. We pretty much built the team around Jorginho last season.
Yeah, that.
And when you've built a team around a player, when that player leaves, it just leaves
Took
that
him out.
It's a
it leaves
massive void.
Such a hole.
And
doesn't
the
it?
problem we have is we don't have anyone who's going to fit into that slot. There's no one
Agree.
in our roster who's going to fill that void. So now we need to buy one.
Yeah.
The main people who we should be buying for that position have gone. They've been sold. So we've got
Yeah.
no option. So we've lost probably our biggest asset. And again, with Somerville, great player, but I'm going to sound like an idiot here for sure, because people are going to moan on the opposite. But you've said it, and you've said it. He is a little bit of a one-trick pony. He cuts down the left, cuts in, gets a shot off. You know what he's going to do every single time. Because even you said it. You knew what he was going to do, so why let him do it?
Yeah.
And he didn't really turn up to the really big games. Southampton shut him out 3 times. 3 times he might as well not have been on the pitch. Because obviously Southampton went, well, he's going to come down the left. He's going to try and cut in. He's going to have a shot. So they didn't let him. Every time he cut in, he was faced by 2 players. What did he do? In the final, when you need a player who's supposed to be the best player in the league, when you need them to step up, where was he?
That man was Dan James, but he came on too late.
Absolutely.
He really does step up, Dan James.
I love Dan James.
I think he's a superb
I've got loads of time for him.
I don't understand why he's on your bench so often.
Well, he
No, he's
won't be
not
now.
Oh, he's not going to be now,
But
obviously, but
But he was the one that got subbed off at the weekend.
yeah, crazy.
Not Nonto. And Nonto had done nothing.
Mm.
I mean, he wasn't awful.
You could
but he
tell
wasn't great.
that you took Rutter out of that
Oh,
team.
absolutely.
And I'm convinced if he was still playing now, I don't think there still would be a goal.
They wouldn't.
No,
It was
I think-
one of them games where you knew there
Well-
was not going to be a goal.
My issue is I can't see where your attacking threat is coming from right now.
We don't have one.
Like, Dan James is it. That's it. But even with Dan James, he's not a scorer, he's a provider.
Yeah.
But there's no one to provide for. So I've just said Dan James is a great player. I'm not knocking him.
No,
'Cause them chances are still going to be made for nobody. Because you've got nobody in there. So it's like you've lost your one major controlling providing spark.
Yeah.
And you've got one provider on the wing. And he's not
Yeah.
actually providing for anybody because, like, Van Bamford, as we've said before, is just... He's
Awful.
not all that, is he,
No.
really? I mean, he has his moments. He has his moments where he does shit that's world class. But where's that regularly? Like, if you can do it
This
once,
is why Joseph South
surely
prefers
you can do
striker.
it again and again and again and again. Because you're capable of hitting that shot. You're capable of taking that ball down from 60 foot in the air. You can take it down and hit a shot off of it. We've seen it. So why do you only ever do it once? Surely that ability's there. Like, we've seen he can head in a corner. He can outmuscle someone, get the ball down, take it and lay it off to somebody. Once in a blue moon.
Well, you know now that Pirro ain't going to be that number 8, number 10
No.
role.
He looked awful.
Because you'd say Rutter, he's probably more of a number 8, isn't he?
No,
Than a 10.
no, he's definitely the 10.
He's
More
a
of
10.
30. sat in the,
No,
sat in the changing
I'm like,
room watching.
So ultimately, you need a 10 that's going to control. And like you say,
There's part of me that
Smodics
thinks-
was the perfect
Yeah.
scenario. And there's one player. There's one player out there now that Leeds have got to go all out for. And it'd be tough to get him because Sunderland have had a good start.
Yeah, we've actually been linked with him
Jack
as well.
Clark.
Jack Clark, we've been linked with him. as well.
How good he was today.
How likely is that, though? Because Sunderland have hit the ground running.
I mean, you look at the Premier League teams are going to be looking at him after
I'm
that
gonna
game.
word it
It'll
like
be
this.
like,
I think the problem's going to be dealing with Sunderland.
I think your main issue is going to be Burnley. They've been absolutely superb in their first couple of
Yeah.
games. They've
Yeah.
been flawless.
Yeah, it's,
So the two of them, I mean, Sunderland today were outstanding.
Sunderland
against
last
Sheffield
season
Wednesday.
started really well and they dropped off massively.
But
Yeah.
Burnley, for me, have been flawless.
But what I mean is by the biggest problem I meant for like getting Jack.
yeah.
The biggest problem is going to be getting Sunderland to agree. I don't think getting him to sign for us will be a problem. I think he will sign.
I think
It's convincing Sunderland to
It's
let him go
convincing
to a
Sunderland
rival.
to take the money off us.
I think what you need to do for now is to go to one of the big boys and get somebody on loan
We've been trying.
that's trying to come through the ranks.
Yeah, but we're trying.
Like, you know, one of Chelsea's 30,000.
Yeah, we have been trying. They're all going to other clubs.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, Leeds are
Yeah.
they're so well supported. Not by him, but I mean they're so well supported by
Yeah.
most of the normal fans. It's such a I've been
You're
to
going to
Ellen
get
Road.
love.
I've been to
Yeah.
Ellen Road both in the away stand, watching Arsenal, and in the home stand when you played Wolves, which by the way was a cracking game when I went to watch that. And the atmosphere is brilliant there.
Oh,
I hate to admit because he's here this
the
week,
problem
but
we've
it's
got
so
is-
good. Why would players not
Yeah.
want to play in that? I don't
Mm.
get it.
Don't know. But it's like Liverpool, we're trying to get... what's his name? Rob Lee's lad.
Oh no, you're on about
Yeah.
the one. I can't think of his name.
We're trying to get him on loan
Carry
from
on.
Liverpool. They're not willing to let anyone go. We're trying to get someone from Chelsea, but he's decided to go somewhere else. What's his name from Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
He chose Sheffield United. They're just all going to other clubs,
Yeah.
and it's like it's frustrating because no one wants to sign for us.
Is that a problem with who's recruiting though?
I don't know.
Is it behind the scene? Is it the recruitment guy that's not?
Don't know. I mean, to be fair, our recruitment until recently was decent.
Yeah.
Rodon, Bogle. I'll even go and say Rothwell's he's a decent player. He seems good.
Yeah.
And when he comes on, he does actually make an impact. I mean, is he going to be our number 10 answer? So, but no, I think we're in a bit of a bad situation. But we were in this position last season, so I'm not going to take too much from it.
No, and like you say, there's another couple of weeks yet till
But we do need to make some
window shuts.
real quality signings.
Especially with, like you say, Burnley have gone to a good start, and right now, can you see them losing many games this season?
Well, no, I mean, one of the players we've been linked with is a Burnley player. And you're sort of like, well, hang on, why are we trying to get a player that's third in the pecking order at Burnley?
Yeah, you want their starting
I can't
player.
find his name.
But no. But Luton obviously got a thrashing from Burnley in the first game, and then they've just drawn 0-0 with Portsmouth, I think it was, and their keeper went a bit mad.
Yeah.
I haven't
To
seen
put
that.
it lightly.
It was a definite red.
Which one, the first or the second, or was it a combination of the two? Because I think he got booked and then booked and sent off.
Oh, that second one was a straight red.
Oh yeah,
I mean, Jesus.
he's running out towards the
seen
player, so he's running towards a player, and he kind of collides with the first player,
Yeah.
and the ball goes off to another player,
And then he literally tries
he
to-
launches at him.
Jesus
And it's
Christ.
a very high foot.
So I think he booked him for the first one and gave him a straight red for
I thought
the
it was just
second
straight
one.
red for the second. If I'm
Yeah, but I
honest.
think he booked him for the first challenge as well.
Oh, right.
So he obviously gets the fine for the booking
Yeah.
for the first challenge, and then obviously
And then
gets
that counts
the,
towards his 1 of 5 as well.
and then it's a straight
Yeah.
red because obviously they can do that.
It was, it was...
Yeah, he had a moment.
Well, they all do occasionally, don't they?
So, and I think Luton, I see them as a team that they've had their year in the Prem. I can't see them going back anytime soon.
No,
I wouldn't have thought.
I have to agree with you.
I go with they're kind of like, the Blackpool. They got up there for the year, and because they got relegated that same
That's it, it's
year,
over.
that dream's then over, because then you're relying on parachute payments. There's only so long. Burnley are obviously good at it at the moment. They can go up and down, up and down. But Norwich were good at it, but they're struggling now. West Brom.
They never stayed up, did they? They were constantly up and down and up and down. A bit like what Burnley might be like now. But the way they're playing, you never know. If they get promoted, they might be able to stay there if they carry on the way they're going.
I mean, it's a good model, really. As a fan, you'd probably be okay with it. If you're going to win the league one year, go up, enjoy the Premiership for a year, and know that you're going to win the league next year, have a season of success.
I mean, the owners will definitely like it because there's a lot of money in that.
Yeah.
You get the parachute payments when you go down, and then you get the most expensive, title win in the world or whatever it is when you go up.
Yeah.
So the owners will certainly like being a yo-yo club that's going to win the league. I guess they'll have to
I
say...
mean, we probably should look what else was going on in this.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I see what you mean about that. I've got the highlights running of the Luton goalkeeper. What I didn't realise when you were describing it was all that happened outside the area. It wasn't even in the area.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you didn't expect... I was expecting to see like a corner come in or something and then fly out. He flew outside, like a good 6-7 yards outside his area to attack the first one, which was a guaranteed red card, by the way. And he then flew into the second one a further 3 yards out of his area and totaled him as well. Yeah, that was horrendous. So, yeah, all that they described was definitely a red card, but it was miles out of his area, which I didn't realise when you were first talking about it. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think what we're going to do then, boys, is we're going to go to break. We're going to finish part 2, and we shall be back with you, lovely, lovely people, very shortly with part 3. Hello and welcome back from the second break. And at the beginning of part 3, we like to go into a section that we've started called
accountability.
Now, accountability is something that I started last week and asked Jim Jam if he wanted to join in on. And for footballing reasons, for health reasons, for any other reason you want to think of, really, we've both decided that we want to go on a bit of a, not so much a health kick, but we want to just try and lose a bit of weight, lose a few inches around the belly and the waist and what have you. So we're going to try and put some effort into it. Now, we've both got our little things and our little quirks that we want to do to try and help us along the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to read out the account. This is where we've made accountable, is because it's literally being read out on the pod. So week 1, I was 16 stone 2 with 45-inch stomach and a 44-inch waist. Jim Jam, you didn't measure last week because obviously you didn't know about this until we got to the pod.
No, and I didn't have a tape measure, but I did do
did
weight.
tell us that you were 16.9 because you'd been weighing yourself anyway.
And I sent the scan
over. As for this week, I haven't lost any weight, but I have lost an inch. So I'm still 16.2, but I'm now 44-inch around the belly, 43-inch around the waist. So I've lost an inch off each. I'm assuming, I can only assume that I'm maybe doing too much weight work. So although I've lost fat, I've potentially gained muscle. I don't know. But I know I'm the same weight, but I've lost inches around the waist and the belly. Jim Jam this week is 16.2, so you've lost 7 pounds since last week. That's half a stone in a week.
Yeah.
Well done.
That's bloody good going, that is. You are 45 inches around your belly and 42 inches around your waist. So they are the numbers that we need to improve on for next week. So we're both exactly the same weight as of today, 16 stone 2, which for those who don't know is fucking massive.
I was going to say, for a long time, I've never been able to break the 16 stone mark, and to break that is my initial target.
Both of our first goals is to break 16 stone, which I don't think is unreasonable, especially as we're now only £2 away. So it should be doable, really. Like, unless we start just eating stupid, then it should be fine. I've been out and bought a water bottle because I don't drink water. For those that don't know me, I drink Coke all the time, 24 hours a day. I never drink anything else. And
to be fair, you did do well to go on to Coke Zero, because it used to be full fat
Coke
every day.
Yeah, I used to drink 4 litres of full sugar Coke every day, and I did that for years as well. Like from the age of about 18 to 31, 32 did I go on to Coke Zero? So it's a long time. So yeah, I've now bought one of them water bottles that. We'll give them the advertisement. Sorry, they're air up bottles. So basically, it's just a water bottle that has like a flavoured pod that you put in the top, and then when you drink the water, although you're only taking on pure water, the scent from the pod tricks your brain into thinking you're drinking juice when you're not. It works. I guarantee it works. It's really cool. So I would recommend getting one.
I just drink water.
I can't drink water. It bores me silly. I hate just drinking.
I've got a big, massive flask, so I'll try to drink at least 2 of them while I'm at work. And
see, as long as you're drinking water, it doesn't matter. I've got to trick myself into drinking water, and the air up bowl is great. Like, let me tell you, it is really good. Right, in part 3, so we've done stats, we've done Premier League, we've done our teams,
Championship
in the Premier League, we've done our teams, and then we've gone all the way down. Leeds. I wish you were on camera half the time.
Yeah, I bet you did for that one.
Yeah. Then we dragged ourselves lower and lower and lower and eventually reached Leeds. And we spoke about them as well.
I tell you
The
what, I want to
second
bring
half.
up actually, because I saw it today and it surprised me. So I started watching the Man City Chelsea game when I got here. I sat in my car for a little bit just watching the game because half the time you're in the shower. So I thought I'll wait a bit longer, so don't turn up too early. And then Enzo Fernandez was captain of
Yeah.
the Chelsea side, and that really shocked me considering the controversy that happened over the summer, where he made was it a video, and
Yeah, there was.
it was very controversial. I guess he's apologised
I
well.
think they've done it to show support to him
Yeah,
because I can't really think of it. What is he, 22?
yeah.
And you don't really look at him as captain material. So I think they've done
No.
it just to show that they're standing with him, like maybe.
Yeah. So
Um,
I actually on my phone. So I did a list of the captains and that because I was like, and this just happened to be
Is this
from
a stat
before.
thing or is it just a
No,
general
it's
thing?
just a general
Okay.
conversation about the captains. I think it is of the teams that, you know. So West Ham have just appointed Jarrod Bowen as their captain now, and I
Fair.
don't see that as a bad
Fair. Yeah.
one
Fair enough.
because I imagine that if he doesn't do well, Danny Dyer is going to go after him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I can well imagine.
I'm probably not his Mrs. Danny Dyer. I'm on about
You're on
either.
about the Danny Dyer.
The Danny Dyer. And I don't think that's a bad move. I think he probably is loves his West Ham and he's done well
Yeah.
for him. So
Good
I don't
player.
see that as a bad
No, I think that's
appointment.
a good choice.
Son is Tottenham.
Yeah, it's expected.
Yeah, because he's been there a long time. Jack Stevens is Southampton, which I'm kind of like...
Not sure about.
I'm not convinced that he should be in the starting lineup. I think he's probably a good
Wow.
captain and a good leader, but it's his quality on the pitch that concerns me more than
Wow.
his leadership.
So he's not likely to lead by example, I think is what
No.
I'm saying.
Joe Worrell is Notts Forest. I don't know a lot about Nottingham Forest, sorry. I've been told off for that before, calling them Notts.
Yeah, I told you off for that.
Yeah.
The Nottingham Forest fans will go mental if you
Yeah.
call them Notts Forest. That's just not right.
So I couldn't really judge him as a captain. I assume he's doing all right because
Who's
he
that one?
stayed up. Joe Worrell.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest fans would have to get in touch and tell us.
Lascelles is Newcastle's captain, but he doesn't play for him. So I think it's Bruno Guimaraes has had the captaincy, I think, in the last game. So not too bad. Bruno Fernandes, Man United. I think he's improved a bit, actually.
I would say
I think he's
I don't think
shown
Bruno,
a bit more.
I don't think Bruno's a bad player at all.
No, I think he's done a lot better over the last 6 months. I think 12 months ago we questioned his commitment and his ability to
Yeah,
lead.
he sort of went missing a little bit, didn't he? But
And I probably would say that he does seem to show that he does care, like certain things he does outside as well. Kevin De Bruyne is obviously Manchester City's, which is...
standard.
He'll have that till he probably leaves,
Yeah,
and then
I
they'll
imagine
give
he will.
it to somebody else. Van Dijk, I think he's a good leader for Liverpool. Vardy for Leicester, but is he going to play as much now? So I think that's going to be a bit of a change. Morsey at Ipswich.
I
don't know a lot about him, so I couldn't judge. Kearney at Fulham. I'm not even... Is he playing for Fulham at the moment? I'm not sure on that one. I'd have to have a look.
Kenny came on for Smith Rowe in
Yeah.
the 70.
Yeah,
minute
so
or something.
obviously there's change of leadership.
Yeah,
I guess
there's
they've
one
been
needed at
captain
Fulham.
for a long time.
Longest serving player though, isn't he, Kenny?
Yeah. Coleman at Everton.
Fair enough. Decent player, decent leader from what I can see.
Joel Ward at Palace. Reece James at Chelsea, which
That
it
seems
doesn't
crazy because he's barely on the pitch.
Yeah, because he's always injured. Dunk, which is fine at Brighton. Norgard for Brentford, which is okay. Neto for Bournemouth, but I don't like a keeper being the captain.
No, mate.
John McGinn, I think he's a
Fair
good
enough.
leader
Yeah, he's
for
a decent captain.
probably a bit of a knob in the terms that I think we've used before with his antics, but he kind of got that old school mentality
It is what
anti.
it is,
So I
isn't
do like him as a player. And then Odegaard for Arsenal.
Fantastic captain.
So I think there's a few questionable captains out there and some unknowns, but overall,
I would agree. I think most of them have got it sorted, though, really. I mean, the big clubs have pretty much got theirs nailed on, and they know what they're doing, which is always a good thing.
but I think it's important to have the right leader, and I don't think that Chelsea one is the right move.
Now, I would like to talk about something slightly different in part 3. Keep your headphones on because you can need them. Now, our social media. This is something I wanted to talk about this week. Our social media is...
Bit busy.
It's pretty active for the most part. We normally get a good few thousand visiting YouTube and TikTok and certainly Instagram. YouTube, we've got an average. It's all pretty similar, really. You get an average view anywhere between 300 views for a video and 800 views for a video. I would consider pretty normal for us. Anywhere between 3 and 800. If it hits that figure, I'm like, that's probably about right. Now we had one video this week, one short, which I'm going to play now, which is why you need your headphones, because I need to know if it's too loud. I might even put mine on just to double check, actually. But we had one short. It didn't go viral, but for us, it went mental.
Nah.
And I'm going to play it now for you. Okay. And I hope it comes through properly on the headset.
That's where it comes out at like 1,000 decibels.
Yeah, that's what I've put my headset on for, so I can adjust the sound pretty quick. But it was this one.
He's not a striker. He's not. And I will say it until I'm blue in the face. I don't care where Arsenal finished in the league. Arteta is a Sunday league manager. He plays his mates. Zinchenko, not good enough. Raya, not good enough. Jesus, not good enough. This Mikel Mourinho, I'm convinced he's only signed him because his name's Mikel and he's Spanish. I'm convinced of it. He's a...
Right, so I put that up as a short specifically because I knew it would wind some people up the wrong way.
I really had to help you this week.
Well,
On the commenting.
Normally on YouTube, Instagram and TikTok, we'll get maybe a maximum of 8 comments on a video.
Yeah. And you're pretty quick at replying.
And I try my best, because being a truck driver, I get a lot of time on bays, a lot of time messing about, waiting for people. So I can... Oh, God, sorry.
Do you want to turn it off?
Yeah. I need to turn the sound off now. I only did it at once. Now, I can normally sort of keep up really, really well with TikTok, as you know, because you get on and I've already answered most of them.
Yeah.
So if we get 8 comments on a video, I can keep up quite well. If we get 12 comments on a video, I can keep up pretty well. When we get 299 comments on a video, I start to struggle a little bit. I'm not going to lie. In fact, there's still comments on there.
And I'm scrolling through, finding comments that you haven't replied to, trying to reply.
I'm still finding comments on there now that he's replied to that I've completely missed. There's so many. But you've heard that one, okay? And that got a ridiculous amount of traction. Right, I'm now going to play you one because I went through, saying to you earlier in the gym job, I went through thinking, I wonder what was our first podcast with the microphones.
Okay.
Because we went from the clip mics, didn't we? And I'm like, I wonder which was the first one where we actually had microphones. Now, this didn't blow up in any way, shape or form, but it's here.
Because it's like Arsenal have started moaning now, going, well, we play Tottenham on the 28th. They've had more of a break than us. Tough. You're in the Champions League, aren't you? They're not. Yeah. I'd rather they had a week off, because it means we're doing better than they are. Albeit, I stand by the fact that Arteta is a Sunday League manager. In as much as, I'm not saying he hasn't done good things for Arsenal, but he plays his friends.
So I literally said weeks and weeks and weeks ago, Arteta's a Sunday League manager, and it went nowhere.
Yeah.
But then I've said it again this week. Oh, lambasted for it.
All sorts of comments.
Oh, loads.
Some which we could put some very
So
humorous
here's the one.
comments.
The actual script. I'll get it up and I'll show you, just to explain it a little bit better. I'll turn the volume down again because I've just made that mistake again. Right. So that's the video, Jim. Going to show him. Show everyone. There. Look, I'm actually on the video. It's there.
Yeah.
What does the actual wording say on the screenshot that's there?
He's not a striker.
Right. So you go into the comments and there's at least 20 that say, this is clickbait, don't watch it. I don't think people know what clickbait is. If the opening screen said, Arteta is Sunday League, that's clickbait.
Yeah.
He's not a striker is all it says. It's just a picture of me and Jim on the front. Clickbait. Do you have any idea what clickbait means or the reason behind it?
Normally
Or why
that's to
people
get
do it?
somebody to click onto a website.
Just to get you to click onto something completely random, nothing to do with what you're talking about,
Yeah.
and it's not even the main topic of that video. How is that clickbait?
Where this
He's
is
not a striker,
exactly-
is all it says. Yeah, the amount of people that went, that's clickbait, that is. Oh, you're a lunatic. You've clearly got no idea what you're on about.
You've posted this to get views? Absolutely.
Isn't that the point of social media?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you post videos for people not to watch it? Because that would be insane.
And you know what gets me? That some of the funniest ones were, oh, you guys really are Sunday League.
Yeah, that's why
It's
we called
like,
it.
I know. It made for the easiest comment back.
Oh, it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Some of the stuff that was said. I mean, some of it was quite funny, to be fair. But some of it's just lunacy.
You've
there you
been
go, there's
called a sausage, a spanner.
Absolute spanner was one.
Oh, I responded
so
to
Jim,
that.
Jim replied, sure, Stretch would rather have a spanner. At least it would be useful. He's put, that comment makes about as much sense as Matey's nonsense opinion. To which I then jumped in and put, you commenting on a video simply saying absolute spanner is what? Interesting? Intriguing? No, it's absolute rubbish, much like your second comment. Thanks. I had one, Tom Merck, come through as I'm a World Cup winner. I'll put good for you. Thumbs up. Wake up, this is from a guy, by the way, I'd like to point out. This from a bloke.
Oh, yeah, I saw this one.
Wake up, babe. New awful ball knowledge podcast just dropped. I'll put. You'll have to let us know what you're calling it. Thumbs up. We need to raise the price of podcast equipment. I don't really understand why that would be the case. Have you tried commenting on netball? You may know more about that than football. As it happens, no. I haven't tried commenting on netball because I don't know more about netball than football. Who is this guy? Put one. I'll put that'll be me. Wavy.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Talk about entitlement. Arteta has done a very good job at Arsenal. Only manager to even lay a glove on Man City the last couple of years. I'll put, you mean apart from Klopp, who won the league? The only time City didn't, or Ten Hag, who beat them to the FA Cup. Yeah, I'm clueless. Well done.
I was just literally about to say, hang on a minute. Other people have.
Yeah, exactly. Who is this Mikel Mourinho that you're talking about? All right, okay, it was meant to be Marino. I got angry and said it wrong. Tom put, is he okay? I'll put, that depends. Are you? Who's this guy talking a load of you know what? You'll get his name from my next comment. I've put David Sumner, his name is.
Yeah.
Your knowledge on football, not good enough. I've put thanks for the advice. I'll carefully consider it as I file it into the bin. Clickbait, don't buy. I've put, besides the thumbnail reads, it's not a striker. Your understanding of clickbait is severely off. There's literally hundreds. I'm not going to go through all of them, but yeah, most of it was hate. But then I did get the odd person commenting, going, "Oh, fuck, I'm glad somebody's finally said it. Arteta's not all he's cracked up to be."
Yeah, what you've got to realise is, especially with football, well, a lot of things actually, but obviously the conversation we always talk about is football. Very divisive. And you will, for example, you go into any Leeds forum and you'll have one person go, "Fark out," and then you'll have half of them go, yeah, you're right, and then you'll have half the people going, "Grow up, you clown." We
Yeah.
had one guy say he was completely clueless. No tactics. Doesn't know how to be a manager. 90 points from last season says, you might have a fucking idea.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points in the championship, isn't it?
Well, it's like one person's reply was something along the lines of, we're just cursed.
Wasn't it record points in the championship last season?
To not go up.
Yeah.
Or
Uh,
equal.
I think it was the
it's
record
equal.
points for the top 4 teams or something like that. Like
Yeah.
no 4 teams
yeah,
have
yeah.
scored like that
All terrible.
many points.
All terrible. Sack them all.
Yeah,
Useless. That's ridiculous
But
commenting like
it's
that.
like you'll have people physically say that he's an idiot. He hasn't got a clue. Completely brain dead. Completely clueless. But he got us 90 points. It's just that it was a freak season because one person said it's the curse of Leeds. Only we could get 90 points and still not win the fucking league.
And not go up.
Yeah. So it's like,
That probably
but
wasn't
to stand there and say
necessary,
the
but I
guy's clueless and hasn't got a clue, you sort of go, well, hang on a minute. You got 90 fucking
thought-
points.
That's a lot of points.
It is.
That's a lot of points.
I think 90 points this season secures promotion. Whoever gets it.
Oh, it depends how Sunderland and Burnley carry on, though, doesn't it?
Well, Sunderland follow the trend of every season. They'll do really well for 5 or 6
But
games.
will they,
in the
though?
playoff. Don't know.
Will
Who
they?
knows?
We'll have to see.
One thing I've been desperate to point out, actually. I don't know why I haven't mentioned it before now, but it's literally just occurred to me as you were talking. Now, we talk, don't we, about how we don't like Liverpool, but it's because of the fans. It's not because of the club. And Liverpool fans will tell you that they're the greatest fans in the world, and Anfield's the best stadium in the world to be at. Now, is it a coincidence that the only time they've won the league in the last 30 years is when the fans were not allowed in the stadium? Do they help? Or do they hinder? Just putting it out there. The only time they've won the league in 30 years is when their fans were banned.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I don't think they help. It's been on my mind for weeks. I don't know why, but I've just not put it on. Something you said just
Nice
clicked
little
and
random
reminded
nugget
me.
of
So yeah, I just thought I'd throw it in there randomly. Just
But like I say,
Liverpool, really, but-
football will always be divisive. You'll have one person. It's the classic Ronaldo, Messi argument. The classic Pele, Maradona. You have one set of people who believe one thing.
Well, there's not really an argument there. One's a cheat and one isn't. One's a drug-addled woman attacking rapist cheat, and the other one's just a decent Brazilian striker.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say which one I think is which, but you know, it's up to you to make your own minds up.
Yeah. But like I say, it's always going to be one of those. You'll always have that. One set of people have one opinion. So it's just, and you're on TikTok, which is just full of people that just
Keyboard warriors.
It does make us like we end up messing each other. Me and Jim going like it just said like you putting the video, like he said earlier, you're putting the video up for attention.
yeah.
We've put a video on social media. Why else is it there? If I'd recorded that video for him,
Yeah.
I'd have just sent him the clip of it on
Yeah.
WhatsApp.
Well,
Of course, it's there for attention.
it's
What the
full
hell
of
do you
Captain
think it's there
Obviouses
for?
as well. But I don't know, it's
Jesus.
just- yeah.
And it's you need to start something else. Don't give up your day jobs and this, that, and the other. We haven't. We're still working. Right.
Somebody better put, oh, you've just done this for views and to get people to comment. And I said, I think I put, it's working quite well this week.
To be fair, it did work quite well this week.
Yeah.
Do you know that got? I didn't say actually, but that video on TikTok, although it got 300 comments, it got 6,800 views.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one on Instagram got 12,400 views
Jeez.
of the same thing, but barely any comments.
Yeah.
There's people on Instagram know how to look at something and go, oh, I don't agree with that. Just keep scrolling.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Just leave that.
Which is fine.
What did he do on Twitter?
But,
Twitter, we don't get that many views at all on Twitter, you know, to be fair.
Thank God for that.
We
that's the
don't get a lot
beauty of football.
interaction on Twitter.
Everybody has a different view of it. Like,
But here's the thing, though, is I've got people, like, absolutely slagging me off for saying Arteta's a Sunday League manager. And then when I turn around and say, well, no, I think he is, they go, well, you're just not agreeing with me because, like, only your opinion matters. That's literally the argument you're making to me, mate. You're literally telling me that my opinion doesn't matter whilst having a go at me for thinking my opinion is the only one that matters Oh my God, what is wrong with people?
Yeah.
Like, really?
So we forgot something earlier that just came to me where we thought about opinions and we talked about stuff. So we both watched the Brentford game earlier, and there was a controversial moment with it regarding Eze's free kick.
Yep.
Which
Have you seen it?
Mate, I was in the middle of a lake. I couldn't see shit.
Okay. What?
I got it.
Yeah, if you just get
you do that.
the replay of it up. We will hold our opinion just for a couple of seconds because it is quite early in the game, isn't it? So it should be on the.
There's actually a whole thing on it on Sky News, so hopefully the video should just literally.
So yeah, it's basically it all stems from a free kick from just outside the area that Eze steps up to take.
Yeah.
He strikes it very, very well, and it goes in off the post.
Yeah.
That's
Took
the
the
fundamentals of the story so far. Is Eze takes a great free kick.
Yeah.
Keeper didn't even move, but to be fair, I don't blame him. It was that well hit, and it was
He
hit
had
that
a
hard.
good free kick just before it. He hit it low and it just went wide of a post.
Yeah, it was about 2 foot wide, wasn't it? It was a great effort though. So we're just waiting for Tin Ribs to watch the actual incident now.
Okay, just watched it.
Okay, you seen the replays?
The referee awarded a free kick to Brentford. A foul has Hughes on Collins. The whistle blew before the ball entered the goal, so VAR cannot intervene, and the referee's call stands.
Yeah. So the initial part is: do we think it is a foul?
I'm just watching the actual free kick again.
I mean, it is potentially obstruction, isn't it?
And it's like, which way? So the ref only gets one view at it, and he sees a foul, and heaven forbid, he's made a decision, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And not let
Too
the game
early.
flow.
Too early, he's made the decision.
Now, if he sees a foul, and he's in his mind, the referee makes a decision, he sees a foul. Does he let play continue after a foul?
Well, they let play continue after a free kick, after an offside, because they have to wait now to see whether the goal is scored. As for the foul, if it's a foul against Palace, surely you have to play advantage, and the free kick would be the advantage. If it's a foul against Brentford,
Which he thinks it was.
which he thinks it was, then you have to give the foul.
Now,
Because in the middle of the pitch, you wouldn't wait for VAR to make that decision.
how is there a problem on a corner? You know, when there's tussling in the box and the referee blows the whistle before the corner is taken. Is that wrong now? Because obviously, is he blowing too soon? Should he let the corner be taken and then say, oh no, there's a foul in the build-up? Because as soon as he sees the tussling in the box, he stops it. Because he's seen...
Yeah, but
a foul.
if they were doing that on the edge of the box, he would probably blow his whistle before the free kick was taken to have a word with them, like they do on a corner.
But he didn't.
Yeah, because they weren't tussling before
He's
the free
watching
kick
in the
was
box.
taken.
He's not watching the free kick taker, which is absolutely the right thing to do, because nothing about him kicking the ball is going to matter to the
They weren't tussling
referee.
before the kick was taken.
Yeah.
So he had no opportunity to blow the whistle before the free kick was taken.
I don't even think it's a free kick.
I think it's very soft.
Well, considering the Brentford player's got his arms around him, and then as soon as he tries to break, he doesn't even move. He just falls over him. So the Brentford player's holding the Crystal Palace player,
I think
then falls over him.
The big decision is, did the ref blow the whistle too early? I think yes. I think you should have just let the ball do what it was doing. And if it went in, then you give VAR the decision to make.
Yeah. But
So
that's it, isn't it?
I personally think they got away with one, really.
I think the problem. So where I was coming to is, I don't think there's a foul. Now look at how they do offsides. They will let the game run for like 10 seconds after, then they raise the flag because if they've got the call wrong and VAR says, "Sorry, mate, he's onside," at least you've got the goal or the outcome.
Yeah.
That for me, I just don't. I think the ref should have.
Does it make it worse if I tell you that Brentford scored their first less than 4 minutes after that happened?
It was pretty much...
No, it doesn't make it worse.
It was about 3 minutes 20.
No.
Yeah.
For me, that makes
what
that
would have made it
decision
worse?
even worse.
No, what would have made it worse if they literally went straight on the counter and scored?
Pretty
Because
much
that has happened.
Pretty
That's
much
happened
did. But I'm including all the furore after the decision, prattling about from
Yeah,
actual
it pretty
from
much
actual
was.
game starting to goal was that free kick went forward and they scored. From
Okay,
it.
so I think that took a couple minutes, didn't it, to make a decision?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I don't know,
Because VAR couldn't intervene. So why did VAR take so long?
because they were trying to decide whether the ball went in before the ref blew the whistle or not.
Which was very quick because you knew it did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, going on.
I'm sorry, that was a 20-second VAR decision.
Yeah, see,
Did
the
the
thing
ref
is,
blow the whistle before the ball went in?
And as soon as that happened, that's it.
Yeah, no decision to make. It's done.
But it took a while
Took
for
a
them
while,
to do it.
Well, I always
they went
question
straight
VAR.
on
The
the
one
board.
thing I'll say is I'm glad it was the first appearance in the Premier League for that ref. So maybe he got excited, wanting to make a decision. Maybe he's gone in with
Possibly.
a viewpoint going, right, I've seen something, I'm going to do it. Now, referees make mistakes. They always will do. So he blew too soon. So probably going forward, he probably won't make that mistake again because he'll probably let
Just
things
hurts
play.
Palace now, though, doesn't it?
It does hurt Palace now, but I don't want the refs not to make a decision because what we've been asking for is the ref to actually have a backbone and make a decision.
Oh,
Okay,
I
hang on.
completely agree.
Okay, so I've got a question for you. Irrelevant to whether the whistle was blown before the ball hit the back of the net or after. Does any player stop and have the argument of, oh, if I hadn't heard the whistle, I might have stopped that going
No.
in? The keeper dives.
No,
Everyone moves.
no. Because
So-
there's no stopping that ball regardless.
No, so my point
Yeah.
is,
No one's anywhere near it.
does it actually matter whether the whistle went a fraction of a second before it went in or after?
For me, no.
Your decision,
No.
you can still...
For me, VAR should still step in and go, we now need to look at that and see whether it was a foul or not. And as
Yeah.
you say, very, very, very soft.
And
It could still potentially have been given as a foul because
Yeah.
we know what we're like in this day and age. Slightest
Yeah,
bit of
yeah,
contact
yeah.
can be given as a foul.
But
But,
for me-
they may have stepped in and gone, do you know what? I think you made an error here. I think
Yeah.
that's a goal.
I'd say if once VAR had cleared or not cleared the foul, if they cleared the foul, it's a goal. Irrelevant to the
Clear
whistle.
Or not to clear.
Because with the whistle, for example, let's go back to years and years ago, the whole Villa
Yeah.
Leeds thing.
That's not
The
what they're
referee
there
didn't
for.
blow a whistle, but the Villa players stopped and we
Mhm.
scored. And then they kicked off and moaned.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
They didn't play to the whistle. But then they moaned. But then you've got cases where someone will get into the box, the defender will be ready to make the tackle, here's the whistle, stops, ball goes in the back of the net. Then that's right. Because they've stopped because the whistle is blown. In this case, no one in that line or the goalkeeper stopped.
Yep.
So it makes the whistle, timing of the whistle makes no bearings on the event.
I agree.
Completely
But-
different game if that had been
My
allowed.
issue is, I do want the refs to start being more bold and making decisions.
Yeah.
But on a free kick like that, wait and see what's happened with the
Yeah.
free kick. You've seen the foul, that's fine, but just give it a sec. It's not like
Yeah.
it takes long to get from the edge of the area to across the line, be it a miss or a
Yeah.
goal. Just wait that extra second. Like in the middle of the pitch, I'm all for the ref just putting his foot down and making the decision
Yeah.
rather than relying on VAR.
But an attacking
Because as
goal
we've said
threat-
before, or as I've certainly pointed out on here before, a lot of the times, I think something bad will happen. The ref will think to himself, I'm not going to make the call, I'll let VAR do it. VAR will then look at it going, well, the ref's already made the call, so we'll stick with that. Where actually he hasn't. He's waiting for VAR to make the call for him. So I do want my ref to make the decision. But in that kind of situation, just wait the split second. It's not like you're waiting long.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not like you're waiting 10, 15 seconds after the event. It's literally less than 2 seconds from foot to crossing the line. Just give it, and then
And then
say
you've
it's
got
foul,
the
let
controversy.
VAR get in.
Is it clear and obvious error?
But then
So
that's up
would
to
they
them,
have
isn't it?
still?
That's
So
up
if
to
he
them,
blew
isn't
it
it?
after,
But then that's what I've just said to him: is sometimes I'll give it,
because they
sometimes
say
they won't. It
because
all
they're saying
depends.
this year they're not going to get involved as much.
No, they want their clear and obvious now. Apparently, to be very clear and obvious, not just.
So if he'd have given the foul, would you call that clear and obvious? Because I probably wouldn't. Because
What, a
there
clear and
is-
obvious error?
Yeah.
Would you? Because you instantly said it's not a foul.
Yeah.
Would you say that's a clear and obvious mistake from the ref, and it's definitely not a foul?
Could it potentially be a foul? looking at it, could the referee see that as a foul?
I mean, we are from a different era as well, so like
Well,
we look at that going, that's
the one
definitely
angle
not a
that
foul.
I
yeah,
saw
absolutely.
is not-
It sounds like I'm defending it, but I'm really not, because I think the goal should have stood.
Yeah, for me, it's unequivocally not a foul on the edge of the area.
Yeah.
That is, if I was the ref, I'd have gone home to him and gone, get up. You're
So,
embarrassing yourself
this is where I'm
and
gonna
all your
word it.
family and friends.
From where the ref sees,
He's
You
looking
can't-
right at it.
he's looking right at it, but he sees the Brentford player go forward and go down.
Yeah.
From the other side, VAR has this. You literally see the Brentford player stand there. He doesn't move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything. The
Yep.
player literally runs into him, flops over. It's not a foul.
No.
I would agree with you.
And again,
I
the-
would say it's
and
definitely
again,
clear and obvious.
The Brentford
mistake.
player had his
Personally.
arms around the Crystal Palace player. So if there's any foul, it's actually a foul on the Crystal Palace player.
In which case, you play advantage, see the goal
Yeah.
go in, and give the
So
goal.
for me, it's an error.
So it's a goal either way then. All three of us think that's a legit goal.
Yeah.
Brentford seem to have got away with one, and Crystal Palace have suffered this week, especially as they lost. And to concede like less than, like I say, I mean,
I think it's
you
the
waited for
following
all the
attack.
pissing about afterwards,
Yeah.
and it was still less than 4 minutes between.
Yeah, I think it was
That-
the following attack.
It was the following,
And it was a
attack, yeah.
great goal. I mean, it was
Oh.
great. It was fantastic.
Good play, good
one
passing,
touch passing.
yeah, straight off to the wing, and it
And
wasn't
Bueno-
Whistle, was it? It was Bueno, and Bueno got the ball.
Cut in.
He basically did what Saka normally does. Got the ball, cut in, left foot, and it was a great finish, to be fair to him. Superb finish. But I did look at that and think, if I was a Palace fan, I'd be really annoyed with that. So we're going to leave you with that this week, because we've just hit 36 minutes in part 3.
Meow.
So we shall be back with you next week for a lot more complaining, a lot more moaning. Jim will not be with you next week.
No,
because
it's
he
my-
has family commitments.
My daughter's first birthday party.
Daughter's first birthday party, so he's not joining us because apparently we're not as important as his daughter.
Bastard.
I have to kind of agree with that. To be fair, I don't think we're as important as his daughter, so I don't expect
And
him to.
unfortunately, whatever we do, somebody's got to miss it. So,
Yeah, pretty much.
because if we change the day, then somebody else can't do it.
Yeah,
so.
if we recorded it a little bit earlier and became the Saturday League Pundit Show, then Tin Ribs wouldn't be able to join us because of his family commitments.
Yeah.
You'll notice one common denominator here is that I'm always available.
He doesn't care about his family. Joke.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
have
I'm sure
worded
he
it
does.
quite like that. I'm always available for the pod.
Yeah.
Also, imagine
anyway.
never going on holiday or having.
We
fun.
are going to try and find a guest visitor to be scoring points for Jim Jam next week in Who Am I? We just don't know who that's going to be yet. But we are.
Can we
gonna
find
ask-
someone who knows absolutely nothing about football?
Right.
We did. You're on
I
the
tell
pod.
you what. No, it doesn't work. I was thinking I could do the Who Am I and you could step in, but then who would read it out? Unless
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
we
give the
would. We
answers.
need somebody. We need a third.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is out on Tuesday. You've got plenty of time. If you want to be
Yeah.
part of it, get in touch. As long as you can get to Staffordshire, then you're fine. So yeah, we're going to leave it this week. And if you want to get in touch with us, as always, it is sundaypundits@gmail.com. And you can check us out on any of our socials. We would very much welcome some more subscribers to YouTube, and we would welcome some more followers to TikTok, even if it is just to see us getting abused.
And while you subscribe to the YouTube, join the Fantasy League and win yourself a shirt.
Join the Fantasy League, win the Fantasy League, and win a shirt of your choice at the end of the season, because that is going to be a thing. And we're not charging for the league. It is completely free. So thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We love each and every one of you that listens. We know we have regular listeners. You know you are, and you're all great. And we shall be back in your ear holes next week.